Hi Gavin, I'm not sure where you are. I hope you're on your way to your trip to Florida. It's a kind of rainy, yucky day here, so it's a great day to be in Florida if that's where you already are, and I hope you're having a really good time. I wanted to get this video made and out to you so that you can watch it when you have time and you can begin working on some of these things because it's going to be several weeks before I see you again. So let's talk a little bit about the festival. We have our festival pieces picked out, but now there are certain technical things, theory things that we need to be working on. When you did Festival Last with Loretta, you went in and did Level 3. Since then, they've redone all of the festival materials and made it rigorous and harder. And so the new Level 4 is really difficult, and I think that it's wiser to have you repeat Level 3, which is really the old Level 4. I think that that's much more in line with the skills that you have right now, and that we should aim for that and have a very successful experience. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things you can be practicing, and I'm going to then type it up and send it to your mom. So I'm going to move the iPad so that you can see my hands as I demonstrate some of these things, okay? So first off, the scales. You have to be able to do the D major, A major, and E major scales for 1 octave, legato, and then piano, or forte, depending upon what the judge asks you. They all use the same fingering, so it's the standard fingering for the C major scale. If I'm doing the D major scale, it's D, E, F sharp. Finger 3s come together on F sharp. 3 on B, C sharp, D. Piano. Very important that you finger correctly and that you play very evenly. The next scale is the A major scale, and so that has 3 sharps: C sharp, F sharp, and G sharp. A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, finger 3s, G sharp, A. Last scale, the E major scale: F sharp, G sharp, C sharp, and D sharp. Okay, you have to be able to play the primary triads, which are the 1st, the 4th, and the 5th in the keys of C and G. So in the key of C, the primary triad is C, then the 4th is an F major triad, the 5th is a G major triad. Standard fingering 1, 3, and 5. In the key of G, G is the 1st triad, 4th, also called the subdominant, is C, and the 5th is a D major triad, also called the dominant. For arpeggios, you have to be able to do them for 2 octaves. C major arpeggio, no finger 4s in this exercise. Right hand is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 5, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Left hand is 5, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 5. And then you must also be able to play a C triad in inversions. Again, root position, C, E, G, fingers 1, 3, and 5. Then E, G, and C. The left hand stays 5, 3, and 1. The right hand switches to 1, 2, 5. Second inversion is G, C, E. Left hand is 5, 2, 1. Right hand is 1, 3, 5. And then you're back to root. Be very careful that you finger it accurately as you practice. You have to practice it broken. And then blocked. You need to be able to play intervals found in any major 5-finger pattern. So if I use the F major 5-finger pattern, F, G, A, B flat, C, I'm going to play the major second, F to G, F to A, F to B flat, F to C. If I was to change that to a minor key, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, remember, we take our major patterns, and in order to make them a minor 5-finger pattern, we lower the middle note by a half step. So then in any minor 5-finger pattern, you have to be able to play the minor third, F to A flat. Okay? The other thing I would like for you to do every time you have a spare minute is practice with the interval cards that you took home. The more you practice sorting those cards, the better you get at reading your music. So the 3 pieces that we've chosen, and I'm going to move the iPad back so you can see me for a minute. The 3 pieces we've chosen for festival are Water Lilies, Running Along by Kabalevsky, and the Russian folk song. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Running Along and some ways that you can practice it. First of all, Running Along was written by Kabalevsky, who's a Russian composer, and he remained in Russia his whole life, and he taught in a school, like a conservatory for children, and he didn't like what he found in terms of method books, so he wrote these pieces to use as teaching pieces for the children. So we talked a little bit about this piece. It's not a difficult one because there's so much imitation going on in your hands. So let's move this again so you can see me. Okay. So remember, the big thing is going to be hearing the slur, then the staccatos. We have to hear that difference, and your staccatos must be nice and crisp. They can't be lazy. That energy has to be in your hand from the first staccato till the last staccato. Okay? It helps if you analyze what's going on, and we have a skip, skip, step, step, skip, step, step, skip, step, step, skip, step, step. If you take a look at that, you're going to find that pattern over and over again. In measure 9, at the end of the second line of your music, you have 2 quarter notes, and they have a staccato dot and a tenuto mark. So they're going to be stressed even more than the standard staccato. So it would sound like this if I back up and play that line. Just like that, and you'll find that again at the end of your music. Be very careful that you count and that it is played very evenly. This piece says leisurely, so we're not going to go super duper fast, but it has to be moving along. It cannot sound like we're a turtle. Is about the tempo that we're going to aim for. So that's Running Along. I think if you practice working hard on the staccatos and the slurs and making sure that the beat is very steady, that would be good practice exercises for you. Russian Folk Song by Beethoven. What key is this piece written in? We have 1 sharp, beginning and the end actually give it away if you don't know what the key of 1 sharp is. It's in the key of G. So I suggest that you warm up by playing the G major scale before you start this piece. You can even play all the triads in the key of G. Helps get your hands and your mind thinking in the key. Again, we also have slurs and staccatos, but we have a legato bass line. And so I want you to practice your bass line by itself until you can almost sing it. It's a question and an answer bass line. One line asks a question, the next one answers it. Line 3. In measure 11, be careful of the fingering in the bass line. You have 1 on D, 2 on F sharp, 1 on G in the next measure. And then line 4 is the answer. Opus 107 by Beethoven is a set of 10 national folk songs that he took and set to music. They originally were for violin and piano. And so you're going to hear this, and it has its roots in a folk piece from probably Germany, I would guess. Right hand, slur, staccato, slur, slur, and there's the tenuto mark at the end of the first line on that last beat. So again, a little bit stronger. Skip down in your music to measure 9 and 10. In those measures, we now have a dotted rhythm. 1 and 2 and a 1 and a 2. The 16th notes are what we consider to be short notes. Short notes go to long notes. 1 and 2 and a 1 and a 2. I want you to practice that rhythm a lot and say out loud exactly what I said. 1 and 2 and a 1 and a 2. And 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and so that we have an accurate dotted rhythm. Again, do hands alone numerous times. Make sure that your fingering is 100% accurate and be very detailed conscious with this piece. Last piece, Water Lilies. Last time I heard Water Lilies, which was quite a while ago, it was in really good shape. This one is very lyrical. It's going to be very important in this piece that it stay lyrical, that it's smooth, and that the left hand sing because it has the melody. So I would like for you to practice it slowly to get it back to where it was the last time I heard it. Again, pay extreme attention to the details. I know you don't like details, but I want you to really like the details in this piece and focus on the pedaling. At the end of the bottom line on the first page, where the left hand has this, and then the hand switches.